anybody has any questions, this is the time to ask them. Just throw your hand in the air.
Does the band have a CD out?
We have song music online.
For free.
For free. To download. People are interested, we'll write down a link out here.
I've been pumping them in my headphones at work lately. Other questions? Sure.
Your last poem about the allergies. were you naming like these little beasts that were coming? There were like a series of names, like a little imaginary army.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like a very real army. Microscopic warriors. But it turns out that what I react a lot to is this allergen called ragweed. Yeah. And it turns out that one of the names for ragweed is bloodweed. So I looked that up, and bloodweed is one of the names that I call in poems. But then I made up the other one because they seemed appropriate.
How's the hay affecting you?
Actually, I feel pretty good here in Wisconsin.
You got a lot of ragweed.
Yeah. I'm hoping not to sneeze too much.
Anybody else? The goose attack is happening, people. Did you know you were reading through a goose attack at some point?
I've heard something going on.
There was like Sister Janet and Camp Man out there trapping by the Other questions? Right here?
The bands, you named somebody from Racine. Where are the other? Who's from Racine? Oh, you were right.
I just won $50.
Sorry, I couldn't help you. Yellow, but where are the other two from?
Well, I'm Jackson Bale from Racine, and
Okay.
this man is Christian Bain from just around Minneapolis, and
Okay.
he's on the other side of Minneapolis. This is Stephen Struby.
Alrighty.
School. Is it based on another model in the United States or somewhere else out of the country? Tell us a little bit about that.
No, we were just trying to come up with a way to, number one, focus more on experimental strategies in poetry, and then to also find a way to provide workshops to a population outside of cities, which is why we focus mainly online. And so I just kind of developed the pedagogy based on my teaching experience and blended that with the tools that I was researching, which was video conferencing and web conferencing that allows us to like annotate poems as we're talking to students and show video and kind of be really interactive, but have everybody present and have all their faces, and so you can actually. We wanted to provide an in-person workshop feel for people that have scattered like across the globe. My last class, one of my students was logging in from Manila, another one was from I think Hawaii, and we've had students from Morocco and Australia, and so time zones get kind of crazy, but it's nice to bring everybody together in this setting. So.
What age levels?
Typically we focus on adults. We're on the back burner is a program to work with high schoolers, but right now it's all adults. And we have everybody we have classes that cover, I don't really want to say introductory. We have what we call poetry level 1 through 3, but those really don't focus on they focus on different strategies, ways to look at poetry differently, ways to write poetry differently. Then we have very specialized classes that deal with certain approaches like erasure or hybrid works, things like that. And then we bring in poets like Charles Bernstein, we've had Eileen Miles, Ron Silliman have taught master classes, Pierre Doris is teaching a class on translation for us in the winter.
These are people that outside of the culture you're like, those are random names, but inside of the culture you're like, whoa, that's really amazing. They have 9,000 books out.
And that's another way to try to kind of provide access to these people to someone who wouldn't have it otherwise. So.
Any other questions? Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take flyers for the events that the Eco Justice Center is either having or hosting. Then we're going to buy eggs and honey and poetry. Then we're going to sign up on the email list. And then you're going to talk to the performers and thank them for coming. Thank you guys all for coming.